Okay.
Take two.
Take two. Yeah.
I'm Mrs. Paskey. I teach at Roosevelt. I am Mrs. Lori Egley at Roosevelt School. I teach third graders.
Hi, I am Melissa Bowman, and I am the 4K teacher at the 20th Avenue YMCA.
I'm Sherry Gunwa, and I am a third grade teacher at Roosevelt Elementary.
I am Jennifer Merrick, and I am an occupational therapy assistant.
I'm Tanya Schmidt, and I teach fourth grade. I've been in education for the last 17 years, but the last 6 years I've been only in fourth grade.
My name is Kristen Bergert, and I am the principal at Roosevelt Elementary.
My name is Elizabeth Bryden, and I teach photography at Oshkosh West High School, as well as the global art class. This is my 6th year teaching.
I'm Teresa Mocha. I am the elementary art teacher at Carl Traeger Elementary.
I'm Renee Schumacher. I'm an art teacher in the Oshkosh Area School District. I'm also the Arts Integration Coordinator for the district.
I'm Samantha Guzzi, and I teach 7th grade literacy at South Park Middle School.
Well, my name is Erica Walvis, and I'm an art teacher at South Park Middle School.
My name is Mr. Euchre. I'm a physical education teacher at Roosevelt and Washington Elementary Schools.
I am Ryan Westermeyer, and I teach 5th grade at Roosevelt Elementary School.
I'm a teacher. I became a teacher because I had a lot of wonderful teachers in elementary school that pushed me to do better, and they inspired me, and that's what I want to do as a teacher.
Well, I always, even back when I was little, enjoyed pretending and playing teacher, and so I think I had a desk and a chalkboard at home. I loved to always learn, loved to read, loved to do math, and so I like to act out being the teacher, and I guess I still just love to learn even at my age now. For as long as I can remember, I wanted to be an educator. I actually grew up in a family where my mom worked within the school district, so I was surrounded by teachers on a regular basis. I actually wanted to help out as much as I could when I was in high school, working with younger students that were in our district, and that kind of really drove my passion for being an educator.
I was really interested in high school, so after high school, when I came to college, I started working at daycares and volunteering, and I just kind of found an area that I really enjoy.
You know, I went to UW Oshkosh for about 3 years, and I always knew I wanted to do something in education, and I just couldn't pinpoint certain things that I wanted to do. And my sister actually works in the district, and she is, well, now a PSD, but she was a special ed education teacher for early childhood, and she recommended I look into it, and I did, and I loved it.
When I was in 8th grade in high school, I really wanted to make a difference in the world, and I thought I was going to work for the United Nations. But when I was going through my classes in college, I found out that the best way to make a difference in the world is to start young and help the children. So that's why I went into education.
I got into education because I loved going to school myself. I really enjoyed my teachers and the different classes I had and the relationships I built with them, that I knew I wanted to do that same thing. And I've always enjoyed working with kids, whether it was nannying or babysitting, so I knew this was kind of the next step.
I knew I wanted to be a teacher when I was in 7th grade. I loved my art classes, and especially my art teacher, and she made such a difference in my life. And I knew I wanted to have the same effect on students and help them in a positive manner, and loved art, and I knew I could do that with teaching.
Do you want to read
You
it?
read it.
Okay. Why I teach art. So I can learn about, be inspired, and do what I love every day. Art.
Yay! I was actually recruited. I was a nursing major in college, and I was taking some art classes because I always loved art. And my professor said, hey, would you consider taking my methods class just to see if I think you'd be really good at it. And so I did, and I've never looked back, and I loved teaching. I loved being a part of the art program since day one, and I love it. I still love it.
I got into education because I really loved learning about a lot of different things, and education encompasses a lot of different subjects. And I changed my major, I changed schools a lot, and then finally realized that art was the best language for me to communicate what I had been learning. So I transferred to the University of Oshkosh, Wisconsin to get my degree in art education.
Okay, I chose education because I like to see others succeed, and at an early level I figured out that I really enjoy sports and working in a gym setting.
I chose education. I've actually wanted to be an educator since I was in first grade. And what I would do when I had a friend that was a struggling reader and I stayed in during recess to tutor him in reading, and ever since that moment I've known it's what I wanted to do. I love helping.
Education for me felt like a natural field. My mom was an educator and it always made me feel safe in the school system. And in high school, I actually taught gymnastics, which was an educational experience all in itself, being in the sport for 8 years. And really enjoyed showing kids how to do something and then watching them expertly execute a skill.
I didn't want to be a teacher at first. I never thought I'd be a teacher, let alone a literacy teacher, because I hated reading when I was a kid. But it changed when I was working with the Boys and Girls Club. I turned out I was working as the team coordinator for the Sheboygan County unit, and I fell in love with the kids. I fell in love with working with them, and it kind of changed my whole outlook on it. So that's why I started.
So in high school, I started tutoring in elementary school, and then I really loved interacting with kids, so then I went to school at UW Oshkosh and got my teaching degree. I also went to Berrien University and got my educational leadership degree as well.
I think I had some really great teachers in high school. I can still even remember high school teachers that let us kind of role play things and act things out and really get our hands in and do some fun science biology labs. It was a lot of fun. So they made it engaging, and I'm hoping that's what I do as a teacher too.
I went to school at University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, and I did all of my education there actually, and I did my student teaching in Berlin and in Neenah. So once I ended up graduating, I actually taught in Berlin for 12 years, and I went on to get my master's degree during that time as well, and now here I am in Oshkosh.
I have my bachelor's in education. There's a lot of field placements and volunteering that has to be done, but that allows you to find what area you like best.
I have a 2-year degree from Fox Valley Tech in Appleton. I had to wait about 2 years, I think, to get into the program. There was kind of a long waiting, but once I got in, the best part was they set up your schedule for you. So you have your basics, and then you just follow. They give you 2 different schedules, whatever works for you, and you get to choose between 2 schedules, and that's your schedule. And then you follow that along.
I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison for education, so I went through their program, and while doing that I also nannied. After that I began teaching middle school in Ripon, and I taught there for 5 years. During my first year teaching, I started a master's program, so I figured get all the schoolwork done and have it done and in my back pocket when I wanted it. So I started that. I wouldn't have thought I wanted to be a principal per se, but I always had, part of me liked the business world, and so in my master's program I really realized being a principal is kind of a mix between the business world and education. You're working with adults and students and families. You're doing other things than just teaching in the classroom, so it kind of was a blend of business and education.
I became a teacher by enrolling at UW Oshkosh, and I majored in art education. And I applied to the College of Education and Human Services and followed all the steps that were necessary and got my license and student taught, and that's how I became a teacher.
I originally went to Oshkosh North and worked with Coach Jorgensen and Dean Matchey in the weight room and during football, and figured out I wanted to be a FIA teacher. After that I went to UWO in Oshkosh and studied kinesiology.
And you also have your master's, right?
Yes, and I also went back and received my master's in applied exercise science.
University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and in a program that was set around culturally responsive education, which I found super interesting, and that's what actually drew me to Oshkosh because that's such a diverse community.
I didn't know that.
Well, I started my undergrad in college as an art student. I have my degree in graphic design and fine art. And then I switched it after I graduated because of working at the Boys and Girls Club. And then I went to school for another 4 years, so I went to college for a total of 8 years to get here because I couldn't make up my mind. And then I got the first job that I interviewed for, and it was at Oshkosh Area School District, and I'm super happy to be here.
I would start working with students. I would start tutoring them. I would start volunteering in schools, getting your foot in the door and getting to know what kids are like today.
I would say step into a classroom if you can. Sometimes once you're in college, you don't always get those opportunities until later on in your college career. So if it's something that you think that you're interested in, I know some of the high school classes actually allow students to get into the classrooms, and you can experience a little bit of that yourself and see if it's something that you truly want to do in your future.
Getting to really know your special ed population. Children with autism, even just children with handwriting, fine motor, art, children that can't hold a paintbrush, a crayon, just stuff like that. Just getting to know children that don't speak and things that they need, even though they can't tell you. So that would be.
If you're thinking about education now, start volunteering in places where there's kids. There's after school programs. You can go to the Boys and Girls Club. You can go to the YMCA. You could reach out to schools and see if you can come in and help out. But if you think it's something you really want to do, start doing it now.
I would really encourage people to volunteer. So if you're interested, get into the classroom. You can come here to Roosevelt. You could get in there. We always have teachers that want someone just to even come in and listen to kids read or help them with different math skills and math games and things like that. So try it out with those pieces. If there's something with like the co-op program that you could do something with either childcare or getting into the schools, I would encourage that. And then the Lighted Schoolhouse program in the district is a great way if you can volunteer. I don't know if you can even work within them to kind of get some of that after school experience is good insight too.
I would say go with what you want to do first. Figure out what doesn't work for you, because if you don't do that, you're always going to be wondering, what if I did this? I always feel like, oh, I wasted 4 years in art school, but I'm so thankful I did that because I realized, wow, this isn't what I want to do with my life. And my art background plays into a lot of what I teach in literacy right now, and I'm still thankful for it.
What I would think most is the most important thing is connecting with the kids. So as a new teacher, what I've been learned so far is being your authentic self with the kids, because you expect your kids to be their authentic selves with you, so you should be your authentic self to them. So,
is there something I can do now to help prepare myself for that?
Just observe people. It's such a observational career, and looking at how kids react to different situations, and so being able to read people is super important. So I guess just observing the people around you, because it's going to best prepare you to be a teacher, I think.
Get out and volunteer at the Y, or look into working at the Y in the summers. Get to the museums, the Payne or the public museum, and work with kids. Just to get experience working with lots of different kids and learn what their interests are, and see if you enjoy it, because the best advice is to find something that you love to do, and then you don't ever have to work, because it's fun every day.
I love teaching what I do because I just love when kids get it, and you see the light in their eye, and it just makes me so excited.
Oh, every day there's a story. what the best part of my job is I get to be with the kids and I get to do kid things. I get to crawl on the ground and I get to get in their mindset and figure out what I can do with them to get them to be successful in the classroom. So yeah, there'll be times staff will come in, they'll see me crawling on the ground with kids. Part of my everyday. I love it.